Hey, what's going on? This is Mike, and welcome to the AI Took Her Job Variety Hour, where I do things that AI just can't do yet. Today, we're going to be talking about cutting a vinyl record. I bought a B5 cutting arm from Rek-O-Kut, about 1950s-ish. I've got it mounted on a Pioneer turntable. I've got a signal going through, and we're going to try and attempt to cut ourselves a record. It's a really cool piece of mechanical machinery. I can't wait to show it to you. And why I'm wearing this very masculine Elvis hat, I'll tell you that here in a sec. Join me. Hey, what's going on? Let me start off by saying that I'm pretty sure I know this demonstration is going to fail. I'm going to get us all the way up to the point where we're actually cutting the record, but the playback, it's pretty bad. And I know that for a fact because I tried it last night and I'm missing the heat lamp. I need to heat this record first before that needle cut. And this cutting head is not a heated needle cutting head, but I'm going to get into all that in a second. But I just wanted to say that if you wanted to see the playback at the end, when it plays back the record that I'm going to record, it doesn't sound very good. So, you could probably skip this if you want, but I'm going to get you all the way up to the point where we're actually cutting the record. So you'll learn everything you need to actually cut the record, minus the skills to actually do the cutting. So record cut emerged in the late 1930s in New York City, and by the late 50s was based in Corona, Queens. Like most people up there, like, they start in the city, they move out to Queens when they get a family going. I mean, that's the businesses in the 50s weren't any different. Their cutters and turntables were affordable, and if you look at the ad here, it's pretty cool. I love all the advertisements. I genuinely do, and this one was no different. I think it's just a cool looking one. This is what I've got. It's the model M5. I don't think I have the S. I'm not sure. I've got the 12-inch one. What's interesting here is this is the 12-inch overhead M12, but I've got an M5. Anyway, it's one of these two, and it's almost the exact same thing. It's actually, I know it's that one. We'll look at it in a second. But now I discovered something when I was researching this, because I naturally wanted to find out how this all works. So I went to the AIs to get information, and I originally asked Claude Opus, Anthropic's top model, and it said, I was just like, give me some information about Rek-O-Kut, just some neat fun facts. And it said that Elvis's first recording on Sun Records was reportedly cut on Rek-O-Kut lathe. These democratized recording by offering pro quality cutting at 1/10 the price, blah, blah, blah. Naturally, I'm like, well, that's very cool. Of course, I'd like to have the same cutter as Elvis, but I'm a stickler for facts, so I checked it out. And I was like, let me find out exactly if this is true or not. And I first wanted to just start with, before I dived on the internet, I was like, well, let me ask the pro version of ChatGPT. I have that version of it, and it's like $300 a month, but it goes out and does a lot of research and makes sure it's correct before it gives you the answer. So I was like, hey, is this right? And GPT 5 Pro, in fact, said Elvis's first record was not on a Rek-O-Kut. It was recorded on a Presto 6N. And I'm like, okay, well, great. So I checked his sources, and the SOS article and another news article confirmed it. So it wasn't a Rek-O-Kut. So now I'm thinking, well, where did the information come from? Like, how did Anthropic get the bad information? So literally, I went on the internet, about 5 more minutes of research. I found this ad on Facebook. If you can believe it, the Musicians Hall of Fame and the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum. And somebody wrote here, pictured in the pictured is the Rek-O-Kut direct. Pictured in here is the Rek-O-Kut. This is not a Rek-O-Kut. So it's fascinating to know that. Okay, so Claude went out, first source of truth, Facebook, which is, I don't know, neither here nor there, but it took it as fact and didn't verify it, and then returned this as reality, when in fact it's not. If you looked at the picture. So I'm giving Claude a hard time, but I went and asked ChatGPT, the free one that everyone uses, and it told me the exact same thing. Its answer was, heck yes, that is true. Elvis Presley's first recording was on Sun Records, and indeed was cut on a Rek-O-Kut lathe. So both ChatGPT, the one everyone uses, and Claude, do not look at photographs before they answer questions as affirmative truth. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. It makes me smile that and what's scary is that we're depending on the knowledge of the person who works at the Museum Hall of Fame for musicians. I think they should know this, but anyway, it's not a big deal other than I don't know. It just makes me smile. But let's get into this. Let's get into this beast. Hey, what's going on? And I'm back here. I've got Will and Angus with me. Now Will's here because he's my friend, and he's an engineer, and he knows about musical equipment. He builds stuff. He puts guitars together and whatnot. But anyway, so we're looking at, that is the beast. That is, well, it's not a beast, but it's the B-5 overhead carriage. Let's do the whole setup first. Let me tell you what I'm dealing with here, or what we're dealing with, and then I'll break it down into individual pieces. We got an MPC driving the sound to the amplifier. The amplifier is pushing the signal into the cutter head. The cutter head is taking that electrical signal into a copper coil and converting that into a magnet, and that magnet drives the needle's movement laterally, like back and forth this way, to cut a groove, which is the actual waveform of the electrical signal that came in. It's cool physics, like learn about that. I don't know, Will, am I right there?
Yeah, no, that's totally correct.
All right, so I'm good. And what I did here, what I have here, Will, will you hand me one of those records down there? What that is a polycarbonate blank. I bought these online. Oh yeah, hey, what's right there is a polycarbonate blank. I've got this. I bought this online, and this cutting head is a mono cutting head. It's a let me see. It's an Astatic M41-8. Yeah, and that's it. And the needle I bought some extra needles. And the one I got is a I think iron or steel. It's not the diamond one. Yeah, I could use a diamond on there, but you know, this was only $1,000. I'm not going to buy a $1,000 needle for that. So I don't know. Let's oh yeah. So let's dive a little deeper into this. So let me show you this machine and how I set it up here. So what I bought on the internet was this piece. Oh, sorry. So what I bought on the internet was this piece here. Wish I could have the camera. Yeah. So this right here is there you go. So, just want to see if that gets better. A little more light. Yeah. A little more light. Okay. So what do we got here is we got a cutting head, and there's your needle. You unscrew this, the needle goes in, and it's all pretty straightforward. So there's your needle. I don't know if you can see the little needle. It goes in like that. Now there's all kinds of information probably that I need to know that I probably don't know. There's like special angles you need to cut it at and whatnot. Like this may not even be the right angle. Like I have to actually turn it this way. It's got to be the 45-degree angle. It's interesting stuff. Okay, so more of the cool stuff here. What we have here is the lead screw. This is the most important. Well, it's all important, but this guy right here it probably doesn't exist in the world like this. Like I would need to get this machine to be made, have it made like this. And anyway, so what I did here was I bought a Pioneer PLX-1000. It was the strongest one that I could afford. That wasn't like thousands more. So like the next one up is the actual the Rek-O-Kut. I should have bought the Rek-O-Kut one because it drives. It's got a better motor. But you know, we'll see what this does. So what I did was I just put this is probably some of the worst ways of doing it, but basically a clamp system here will help me figure this guy out. So I just clamp it onto here. Okay, the mechanics are as follows. Let's do some better light here. Yeah, good. Yeah, all right, there we go. It's a better light. Better light on the machine. So what we got here, cutting head, how this works is pretty cool. Lift that up. And I wish I could turn this around. I kind of can. If you could see back here, the machine is a little bit complicated. Like this stuff here, can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this here adjusts the lead, this weight. I think it's called a lead weight or whatever. But this and it gets a little complicated because basically depending on what you're cutting, you need to set the depth and how far this goes down and how and the weight on what it is on on the actual vinyl needs to be different. But you know, it's probably not as complicated as I'm making it sound. But the clutch here is an important piece because this is what makes it run. So this keeps it away from the needle, and when this is on, this is on. So let's put this back on here, and let's just see the mechanics real quick.
You tell them about the screw, how it drives the thing across
the
vinyl.
It's very cool. So the lead screw here pushes this. So as the music is playing through the amplifier, actually, let me explain something about the amp real quick before. Here. So let me explain something about the amplifier real quick. When I looked up the Astatic M41-8, what this is, it has an 8 ohm impedance on the cutting head. And this is kind of important. And what that means is it only allows 8 ohms of electricity into it. This is a 30 watt 8 ohm amp. I didn't want to screw things up. And just in case, when I hooked it up, I have, what are these called again? These were the fuses, inline fuse to the positive charge. So if this pushed this too hard, then it would basically blow the cutting head, and then I would never find another one. I mean, I would be lazy enough to probably never buy it again, and I would never get to try this. So if I push this too hard, it blows the fuse, and you don't screw up your head. Just remember to do this. Like this is the most important piece of it here, and then you can test it and not break it. But can you guys see?
Yeah, you can see that.
Okay, cool. I don't think you saw it before. Anyway, I'm gonna run that again just in case. Let me explain one more thing that's important. Right here is a fuse, an inline fuse from the amplifier into the cutting head, just in case your amplifier happens to kill. Yeah, this light is a little hot. Yeah, just in case the amplifier is too heavy and you don't want to blow your cutting head. Yeah, so there's two things I wanted to mention really quick first. There's something I want to read to you, only because I don't fully understand it. But this is and y'all might understand this. What this amp is, it's called a BTL amp. It's a bridge tied load amp. Each channel on the plus and minus post are both active at 180 out of phase. The load on my M41 coil sees the difference between those. So you get the two times the voltage swing with the small supply, the floating output. No speakers, terminal ground. And it's saying it's great for a cutting head. So I remember when I originally researched this and I bought this amp, that was the information that I remember I had in my head, and I bought it specifically for that reason. There's also something else that I want to say, want to talk about that's really interesting is the RIAA curve. If you've never heard of that, RIAA is Recording Industry Association of America, I believe, right? Will, you got that on me?
That sounds right.
All right, and what an RIAA curve is, let me get a good, better definition here. And what's interesting, let me quick plug here. My latest album at mote.kim. I had a lot. All those tracks also mastered for vinyl, and what my engineer did, Jesse Medway, brilliant engineer, is he did the RIAA curve on this. And let me find a better definition for this. Okay, so mastering for vinyl, apply RIAA curve. It's hard to say. What this does is it boosts the highs 20 decibels above 2 kilohertz. It cut low at 20 decibels below 500 hertz to maximize groove space and reduce surface noise. Limit dynamics to prevent groove wall collision, audio blah blah blah. Anyway, so that's a standardization that the Recording Industry of America has on cutting records and the sound of it. I think that's just fascinating. Anyway, so what we want to do now is we want to get to the point where, well, let's look at this guy in operation first. Turn it on. Nothing happens now because the clutch is not activated. And as soon as I flip this is spinning and it starts sliding this to the left, and starts cutting the record if we were cutting a record. So that's how that works. So and this slides across, so you can move your guy. There are fancier ones where all this stuff is automated and whatnot, but you know, I'm not fancy. Yeah, so let's turn this off real quick. Now let's do what they call the plastic cut test. We're gonna send a signal through our amp. Let me speakers now. So that's what we're gonna run through our amp and record on our record. Let's turn it up. All right, fancy. Okay, so the first thing we do when you get your cutting head and everything set up, you want to test your cutting head, and here's how you can do it. You get some audio running through here. You get your needle. You put a paper cup up against it, and then if you put it up your ear, the old telephone game. You've played that well, haven't you?
Yep.
You're a kid. All right, so let's look at it.
Dating ourselves.
Yeah, man. Everyone knows that game. So let's just try this. Well, if you could hold this up for me, sir.
Sure.
And I'm gonna make sure it's in the view there. Yeah. All right. Sweet. So we have it in. That's kind of heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good workout.
Heavy.
Yeah. It's a heavy
metal.
beast. All right. So what we're gonna do is we've got audio. Let's do this. So now we need to send our signal in. Okay, so now we're gonna go out. One of the outs on the MPC. And we're gonna send that through this amp, and we're gonna keep turning it up until we get a sound coming out of here, and I'll hear it. Actually, let me unplug this guy so you don't hear it coming out the other amp. The speakers then we'll be able to hear this guy coming out. We need total silence. Now we don't even know if it's playing. I hear nothing but the ocean. Let me stop that. Okay, let me go this way. All right, so we got our signals mixed up somewhere. I can tell. Oh, here. We pulled one out. That's why. One. Oh, good. God.
Yeah. Technical difficulties will be.
All right. It is on there. Let's try this again. Let me get my cup. You can see that? Oh, perfect. What a shot. Let's see this. Some sounds coming out of there. Let's get this guy up. It's coming out. Put that to the phone speaker.
Holy.
That right there is what.
Oh, dude.
Hold on. Oh, you can't see. So, that's the sound. Yeah, so that right there is what literally, that analog sound is converted to down. That analog sound is converted down this electrical signal and into that cutting head. And this goes to a record label who's like, man, this guy's so cool. I'm gonna sign him. I'm gonna sign him to Girder.
I don't hear anything, dude. I don't hear anything.
I'm telling you,
and
we
then
got it.
The cop, and you put it around towards my way.
It's exciting when something actually works. Now, there's no way we're gonna be able to cut this record, and we're gonna try. You're gonna have a laugh, and hopefully you've already signed off by now. But we'll do it for shits and giggles because we're here. Let's do this first. This is not that easy to do.
Yeah, one notice we're not, because we don't want to screw up the turntable. We're not screwing the little centerpiece down like it would normally be on.
I think if I can get
it's a friction fit.
If I can eventually get this to work, what I'll do is I'll buy the proper Rek-O-Kut Rondine flatter turntable.
Right.
And they're like a couple grand to get a good one. And that's fine. It's worth it if I can get all this to work. And this might not even be the right turntable. I mean, it was between this or a 1200 Technique, and they're about the same. And I think this had a little bit more torque, and that's why I got this one. All right, here we go. So let's put this bad boy back on here. And let's get our I mean, and those of you who know how to do this, like, you're going to be like probably commenting, hopefully you do. Like, oh, this guy has no idea what he's doing. And that's fine, because I kind of don't. But how do you learn something you don't ever give it a go, man? Don't beat me up for that. All right, so we're going to throw this in the middle of the record, crank everything up as loud as we can, and see what happens. It's down. Can you hear that? As a record cutting. Yeah, we got our groove. You can see that? See if we can.
Yeah, no, you got way focusing. Oh yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yeah, you can see it now.
The groove is cutting. It's not gonna sound. It's gonna sound like a horror movie, but you know, I'll play. It'll be like the sounds of Halloween CD. I'll put this on there. It's gonna sound like. All right, cool. So let's get this back. And this is kind of a. Yeah, right. Back in action. Let's go down just a bit here. Sound stopped. All right, so the sound did stop. So we're gonna lift the clutch here. Our record even stopped too. It's a good sign. Everything stops. This probably stopped somehow because of this got attached too hard.
Crazy. Oh wow.
That's so close.
A blizzard.
It's a blizzard. I told you. It sounds of Halloween. There's many reasons for that. One, I didn't heat the vinyl. Two, I have no idea what I'm doing. But
still, we got sound out. I think the cut test.
We got something. The
cut test was the bomb. Man.
The cut test works. No. Look, this is good. So we got it done. So how about that? How about getting the information about that? Wasn't that funny with the pay for the? I had to pay have GPT Pro to get the right information without researching. It's anyway. What was I talking about? All right, so we're done with this, guys. Thanks for joining us, and this is fun. And when I get it to work, I will make another video. But you know, if you don't ever try this stuff, it's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and yeah, listen to my record. It's at www.mote.kim. I am 𝐓𝐿𝐸𝐭𝐲, and signing off. See you for volume 3 of the 𝐴𝐼 𝐸𝐭𝐲. See ya.